Well, happy Monday, TSF runners and triathletes. I just wanted to give you a quick video about fueling and hydration. Many of us are in the heart of long mileage weeks as we prepare for our fall race. And one of the most important elements, or one of the key elements in successful training and then thus racing, is our fueling and hydration strategy. So, what I thought I would do is I'd share with you some fueling options that I have used over the years. And I want to let you know every single one of us is different. So, there isn't one right way or strategy on how to best fuel for your training runs or for your marathon. But we can figure out our own best practice just through practice. So I'll let you know a couple fueling strategies that I have used. So first of all, obviously, when you go out for a run, you're burning some calories. When that run starts to get longer, like we're talking more than a 90-minute run, we have to take a look at, are we fueling our run well enough? Are we eating a good carbohydrate filled breakfast? And are we topping off our carbohydrates throughout the run? One of the most common ways to add carbohydrates to your system, to your body throughout a run, is by using gels. There are gels and chews and powders that you can add to your water, but really probably the most efficient is going to be a gel of some sort. Now, when I first started running, I used GU. GU has, I think it's 23 grams of carbs, or basically a sugar, a fast-acting carbohydrate, in one packet. So just under 100 calories is in a GU gel. Now, over the last couple years, I've been less enthused with GU for a couple reasons. And for years I used GU, so this isn't an anti-GU thing, because I'm sure many of you would try GU and think it's fantastic. But for me personally, it just began to not sit quite so well, and it didn't get into my system as fast as I wanted it to. One of the things you want to do when you take in a gel is drink some water, and just about every gel company will tell you that. I don't always carry water when I have gels. I'll explain that in just a moment, not right now. But so I need a gel that will work quickly even if I don't have water with me. So that's one option. Another gel that I have come to use over time has been V-Fuel. I chose V-Fuel because it doesn't have any fructose in it. And I had read somewhere that women in their 40s and above don't process fructose as well. So I thought, oh, well, I'll try it. And it was okay. I'm not super jazzed about V-Fuel, but it did go in easy. I digested it just fine, no stomach issues. So this is certainly a gel to try if you would like. Another one that is real easy to take in is Huma. I think that's how you say it. Huma gels. It's more like a chia seed kind of a thing. My only objection to Huma is how big the packet is. It's quite a bit bigger than the GU gel, and with no more calories. And then this next one that I'm using is Torque. I'll show you this one in a second. This also leads me to tell you about the different types of gels within the same brand. So GU has kind of a GU on steroids would be Roctane, and that is going to be a gel that includes some caffeine or maybe some other type of energy supplement other than just sugar. Caffeine is a real common addition to gels. And you know what? I'm a fan of that. I totally like a gel that has some caffeine in it, especially later on in my long run. So then that's what Huma has this. Plus, they have some extra electrolytes. We'll talk about electrolytes in a moment. So, and this also has some caffeine in it as well. The one that I have most recently tried that I do like is Torque Gel. It has 30 grams, woohoo, 30 grams of carbohydrates in it per packet. I like that myself because 22 to 25, maybe not quite enough for me. And we'll talk about how many we take and all that in just a moment. But the other thing I like about Torque gels is I do like the texture. It's very easy to take in, no stomach issues. My only complaint about this one is I found it hard to take the top off. I put it in my teeth, which I know we're not supposed to do that, but whatever. I found that a little hard to open these, and then it left this tiny little hole where I'm trying to squeeze out the gel, but it's not a big enough of a problem for me to stop taking Torque. So I'm going to go with Torque probably through my marathon, which is in under 2 weeks from now. So that's that. The big question is okay, well, how many gels should I take? I tend to think like, okay, most gels are about 100 calories roughly each. And I would say, so we're all so different on how many calories an hour are we burning when we run. Well, I would have to say we're probably burning roughly 300 to 600. I know that's quite a range, isn't it? 300 to 600 calories an hour. Maybe 500 would be a safe bet. And when you think about it, if you're taking one gel an hour while you're training, 100 calories, so you're only covering about 25% of what you're burning. But that leads me to my next topic. What do you have on board? And what you have on board will be determined by what did you eat the night before your long run? What did you have for breakfast? And then did you take any, in addition to your breakfast or as part of your breakfast, did you take any type of long-acting fuel? And that's where UCAN tends to be, I think, the leader in long-acting fueling sources. I do take UCAN. I'll eat breakfast, and usually for breakfast I'll have like a bowl of cereal and toast or something like that. And then shortly before I head out on my run, I'll take 1 scoop of UCAN with about 8 to 12 ounces of water, shake it up and drink it real quick. And then it has a slow release of carbohydrates that will last for quite a while. Another thing I may do if I don't feel like drinking that right away is I'll put the UCAN in my water bottle, shake up my water bottle, and then I'll sip the UCAN throughout maybe the first part of my run. That does tend to work really well for me. And one of the reasons why that is that I thought I would bring up so that you know where I'm coming from is I have type 1 diabetes. And so what that means is my body doesn't produce any insulin, so I have to wear an insulin pump to inject insulin into me. It's a bummer. However, there is a slight advantage, and that is that I can see at a moment's notice where my blood sugar is at. So I'm using that information to help you understand how quickly some fuel sources get into the body. So it is because I have diabetes that I saw that for me personally, goos move pretty slowly to get into my bloodstream and then thus fuel my muscles. The one that has so far worked really well about getting quickly into my body, into my bloodstream and then my muscles has been Torque. Torque has moved very quickly for me, and I like that. I like that when I need it, but sometimes I can't have sugar that moves quickly into my body because maybe my blood sugar is running a little bit high. And when that's the case, that's where I might go with a conservative route of carrying UCAN with me and sipping it throughout my run. So I know that was kind of a lot of information about fueling that it didn't give you a solid answer. And I totally get that. Here's what I would suggest on your long runs, your runs that are a couple hours or more, that you start with pre-fueling, whether it be with a good high carbohydrate breakfast or having breakfast and then a UCAN drink. And then every hour, try 2 gels, or maybe every 45 minutes, try 2 gels. If 2 gels is just more than your stomach can handle, then go with 1, and then maybe go 1 every 30 minutes, something like that. We're all different, so you're going to have a different experience than me, and it's just going to take trial and error to determine what works best for you. Right now, when my blood sugars are fine, I tend to go 2 gels per hour. I get kind of bummed when maybe my blood sugars aren't working out real well and I'm unable to fuel. That is a bummer. So since you have a fully functioning pancreas, you have no excuse. Take in that fueling. As long as your body can handle it and process it, I say go for it. If I didn't have to worry about blood sugar at all, I would just be automatic every hour 2 gels. I wouldn't even think about it. I would say at least 2 gels an hour, because when you think about it, that's only 200 calories an hour when you're probably burning at least 400 or 500 calories an hour. Okay, now, so that is the fueling piece. And about the fueling piece, how do I carry all these gels? I use a flip belt, and this flip belt has little openings in it around the belt, and then it even has a zipper section where you could put your phone if you wanted, or more gels. So I tend to carry gels in here, and then of course many of us have the pockets on the side of our shorts, or maybe a pocket right here. So the fun thing is that throughout your run you get lighter and lighter because you get rid of the gels in your belt. So I highly recommend some sort of flip belt. I also, when I carry my water, I have a little pocket in here, and I might put a couple gels in there. But speaking of water, let's now talk about hydration, since I think we got the fueling thing covered. I didn't give you any hard and fast rules, except for maybe start with trying 2 gels per hour, see how that goes for you. Oh, just one other little thought about fueling. I have read that we pretty much use all the glycogen that we have in our muscles within about 90 minutes. So we could probably get away with a 90-minute run without any fueling. Although, as I said, we are all different. Maybe we use up everything in 75 minutes and we should have topped off at 60 minutes. So when you get to about that hour and a half distance or timed run, consider some fueling maybe at about an hour. Okay, back on to hydration. Hydration we tend to think of as water. I want to get some water into my system, and we know we need water because that's what keeps everything functioning quite well. But you know what? If we just go with water and nothing else as far as a hydration strategy, we might be missing some key elements that help us perform better, or actually even just perform at the proper level. And the elements that I'm talking about are these minerals that become electrolytes, and they become these minerals such as sodium, potassium, calcium, chloride, and some others become electrolytes when they dissolve. And they get these electric charges to them. And what these amazing little things do is they help our body function properly. They help our muscles work well. They help our brain and our nerves and our muscles and our brain. Everything works better, works how they should when we have the appropriate amount of electrolytes. The key one as a runner, of course, is sodium, because it's the one that we lose most when we sweat. Now, when we lose a lot of sodium, we need to replenish it. If we don't replenish our sodium or other electrolytes, but primarily sodium, we are probably going to be experiencing some, not muscle failure, but muscle functioning is going to start to go down and not be quite as good as it should be, especially when we need those muscles to be working well late in our training run or late in our race. So on these days when it has been like 90 some degrees, I have used an electrolyte supplement. There are many of them out there. There's a well-known company called Precision Hydration that's all that they do is electrolyte products, and it's good. I have used Precision Hydration. It's fantastic. But what I have found that works for me, because it's super easy, is using an electrolyte capsule. So I chose that because it's one less thing to carry. It's a tiny little capsule, no big deal to carry that. This particular one that I used is Hammer Endurolites, and it says Endurolites Extreme. I don't know why it's called Extreme. It's not that extreme, but this carries gosh, I can't see it now. Each capsule has just 120 milligrams of sodium. That's not extreme. I will take maybe halfway through my long run, I'll take 2 of these. On a day when maybe it's not a super long run, or it's maybe not that humid and hot out, I might take 1 when I start and then 1 halfway through my long run. That has what I have found that works best for me, though, is that when I take 2 halfway through my long run. Try an electrolyte of some sort, and you're just going to have to determine what works best for you and what can your body handle. There is one negative thing about a capsule. I don't think it's the brand. I think it's just the capsule, is that I feel like I taste like sodium, potassium, magnesium. I feel like I taste the minerals throughout the rest of the day, but it's worth it. You'll know that your electrolytes are probably low is when you really get fatigued. You feel like your muscles, your leg muscles, are barely functioning, or you can barely lift your knees. It might be a fueling thing, or it might be a hydration thing. For me, because I make sure I feel really well, I tend to find that my muscles function much better when I'm on top of my electrolytes. So there's that. Ways to carry your water. I most often use a handheld, even though I absolutely can't stand having anything in my hands when I run, but you know what? You just have to suck it up, right, and do it. So I use this Nathan water bottle a lot, and I really like this one because I don't have to hold onto it. I can just let it kind of hang in my hand there. So I use this one quite a bit. Another one that I don't mind using is it's okay, is another Nathan product, and this is like a collapsible one. Like as you drink the water, it gets smaller. I kind of like it. What I like about it most is that when it's empty, I can tuck it into my flip belt. I can tuck it under and let it hang there, and then I can have my hands free. But it's not my first choice. And then another option would be to get a hydration belt like this. This is also a Nathan product. And then what you would do is just simply fill up your water bottles, put them in, and then snap it around your waist. And I have to kind of tuck it down a little lower. This is okay. You do get used to the bouncing of the water bottles, but it's still a little annoying. But, you know, like everything, we get used to it. But it's my last choice for my hydration. Ultra runners, I know you have the hydration vest. And actually, people who are training for marathon might want to consider a hydration vest. I just have not used a vest this summer because it's been too dang hot, and I don't want that on my back while I'm running. So, one last thing is, how much water should I drink when I'm training? And you know what? That is really, again, not a solid answer for you. Sorry, guys, but I would say it depends on how long you're running, how much you're sweating. We are all different in how much water we need. And you know, isn't it interesting? Hydration is very controversial as how much water should we be drinking. But what I have found is that, like, if I ran 16 miles this weekend and I drank about 2 of these. And it wasn't very hot out, but it was super humid. So if that helps out, and what is this? This is a 12-ounce bottle. So I had 24 ounces. And you know what? I probably could have stood to have some more. I was pretty parched by the end of my run this weekend. So I hope that helps. Those are just some ideas. There are plenty of other types of gels out there. There are hammer gels and honey stinger. So the ones that I just showed you are just a small sampling of what is out there. If your stomach can't handle the gel, try a chew. My issue with the chew is that it just takes too long. It takes me too long to take in enough calories, so that's why I go with the gel. So if you have any questions about fueling or hydration that I didn't answer here, please just comment below, or just give me a call, and I'd be more than happy to help you with figuring out the best fueling and hydration strategy for your long runs and for your race. So thank you so much, you guys, for being my client. I love working with all of you, and I'm excited to see how these fall races turn out for everyone. I guess what I care about most is that you get to that start line safe and sound, and that you get to that finish line with a smile on your face. So let's all get there together. Have a great week, everybody, and enjoy your long run this weekend.